There comes a point in life when the word yes starts to feel heavier than no. When you've said it so many times to please others, to avoid hurting anyone, to look kind, that you begin to feel invisible in your own life. Mia knew that feeling too well. She was the kind of person who couldn't say no. When her boss asked her to work late, she said yes, even when her body begged for rest. When her friends needed help moving, she said yes, though she had exams the next morning. When her cousin needed money, she said yes again, even if it meant skipping her own bills. On the outside, everyone loved her. But inside, Mia felt exhausted, unseen, and quietly resentful. She would lie in bed at night, replaying her day, feeling drained, wondering why she always ended up tired, while others seemed fine. Her heart whispered, "You can't keep living like this," but guilt always silenced it. She had grown up hearing, "Don't say no," so she tried to be good, so good that she slowly disappeared beneath her own kindness. One Sunday, after yet another sleepless night, Mia met her old teacher, Mrs. Lewis, in a park. Mrs. Lewis was the kind of woman whose presence felt peaceful. She had taught Mia years ago and always seemed to have answers hidden behind her calm smile. "You look tired, dear," she said softly. Mia smiled weakly. "Just busy helping everyone, as usual." Mrs. Lewis chuckled. "Helping everyone. That sounds noble, but I see your shoulders bending under the weight." Mia sighed, her voice trembling. "I just don't want to disappoint anyone. People count on me." The older woman nodded. "Ah, yes. You're saying yes to everyone but yourself." That sentence stopped Mia. Mrs. Lewis invited her to walk through the park. "Do you see that big oak tree?" she asked, pointing to a tall tree with wide branches. "It's strong and beautiful, isn't it?" Mia nodded. "Now imagine if that tree tried to give a branch to everyone who asked for shade until nothing was left. Do you think it could keep standing tall?" Mia shook her head slowly. "It would fall." Mrs. Lewis smiled. "Exactly. Even the tree knows it must keep some strength for itself. That's how it continues giving. But humans, especially kind ones, forget this." Mia's eyes filled with tears. "But isn't it selfish to think of myself first?" Mrs. Lewis stopped walking and looked at her. "Selfishness is taking more than you need. Self-respect is knowing when you've given enough. You can't pour from an empty cup, dear. The world taught you to be kind, but it forgot to teach you boundaries." Those words sank deep into Mia's chest like seeds finding soil. For the first time, she realized kindness without limits was not virtue, it was self-destruction dressed as love. That night, Mia wrote a small note and stuck it on her mirror. "You have permission to rest. You have permission to say no. The next morning, when her colleague asked her to stay late again, she hesitated. Her instinct pushed her toward another yes, but her heart whispered, "Try saying no this time." She smiled politely and said, "I can't today, but I'll help tomorrow." Her colleague simply nodded and walked away. To her surprise, the world didn't collapse. No one hated her. No thunder struck. She felt light. It was a small no, but it opened a door inside her. Days turned into weeks, and every no Mia said built a small wall of peace inside her. A friend once asked her to lend money she didn't have, and Mia gently declined. Her voice still trembled, but afterward she felt proud instead of guilty. She noticed something else, too. The people who truly valued her stayed. Those who only came to take slowly drifted away. But in that quiet, she began to hear her own thoughts again. She found time to read, to rest, to dream. And slowly, she began to recognize herself again. One evening, she returned to the park to find Mrs. Lewis sitting on a bench, feeding pigeons. Mia sat beside her, smiling. "I think I finally understand," she said. "Every time I say no to something that drains me, I'm saying yes to something that heals me." The teacher smiled warmly. "Exactly. Protecting your peace isn't rejecting others. It's choosing not to reject yourself." The wind rustled through the trees as if agreeing. Mia looked up and noticed how each branch swayed freely but stayed rooted. It didn't apologize for needing sunlight. It didn't feel guilty for growing upward. It just existed, strong, balanced, alive. As the sun set, painting the sky gold, Mia whispered, "I used to think peace meant keeping everyone happy. Now I see it's about keeping my heart safe." Mrs. Lewis nodded. "And remember, peace isn't something you find once, it's something you guard every day. People will test your boundaries. They'll say you've changed. But that's because your silence once served them. Don't feel guilty for choosing yourself." Mia smiled, feeling a deep calm settle in her chest. She knew there would be days when old habits tried to return, when guilt would knock again. But she also knew she wasn't the same person anymore. She had learned that saying no doesn't make you unkind. Makes your kindness honest. That evening, as she walked home, she passed a small child helping his mother carry groceries. The boy said, "I can't carry both, Mama. It's too heavy." His mother replied, gently, "That's okay, sweetheart. Carry what you can." Mia smiled to herself. That simple phrase summed up everything she had learned. Carry what you can, nothing more. Because real peace begins when you stop proving your goodness to others and start living gently with yourself. So next time your heart says no, but your lips want to say yes, pause. Ask yourself, is this peace or pressure? And remember, the people who truly love you will respect your no. And those who don't were never meant to have all your yeses. You deserve a life that feels calm, not constantly borrowed by others. Protect your peace, guard your energy, because you, too, are like that tree in the park, still standing, still giving, but only because you learned when to stop bending.